we grow a lot of cut and come again greens. It is just such a wonderful thing to have fresh greens throughout the year. And we do this with spinach, we do this with lettuce, we do this with mustard greens, with coriander, with parsley. Lots and lots of different crops can be grown this way. They can either be direct sowed, as we've talked about. It can either be transplanted like these lettuces. So this lettuce, for example, had actually been harvested at the center and then regrown. So for example, if I want to harvest this lettuce now, I can harvest it at about 5 centimeters above the ground level, and then all of this beautiful lettuce, except for a few outer leaves that are not as wonderful, can be eaten. So it's beautiful, lovely lettuce that then again will regrow from the center. Often I will clean up the lettuce and then the lettuce doesn't need to put any energy in the leaves that are already starting to decay. I'll often leave the extra bits on the path or on the bed and to let them decompose. Instead of cutting the whole lettuce and let it regrow, which it will do in about 2 to 4 weeks depending on the time of year, the lettuce will regrow and I'll have another beautiful lettuce, even can reach even the same size as the original lettuce. And it will generally do this if the lettuce is still happy and in its prime. If the lettuce had already started bolting, you won't often get a second cut. But if the lettuce had been healthy and happy, you can get even a third and even a fourth cut from the same plant. Alternatively, you can just harvest some of the outer leaves, and you can and the new leaves will just keep regrowing from the center, and you can do that all around and just keep harvesting continuously from the same plant. So these are various techniques of harvesting lettuces. Here with the spinach, this spinach has already been cut. This is a summer crop of spinach. We have already harvested from it, and this is already the second regrowth. And I do something similar, but unlike the lettuce that in order to let it regrow, I cut it quite high. With the spinach and other greens, I can go close to ground level. I often like to have my fingernails in this type of position. So if I do get cut, I'm going on my fingernails rather than my fingers. I'm usually holding the plant, giving it a little bit of tension, just like you're pulling a rope when you want to cut it. And so I'm gonna go here and I am separating some of the plants I'd like to cut. And I am going just a centimeter or two above ground level. And these beautiful spinach grains can go into a box. And I can do the same again. So these cut spinach plants already have new leaves that want to come up, and they might be a little bit cut on the top, but it really doesn't matter. They will be beautiful eating quality. So that will be the third cut coming up. Sometimes we can get a third, a fourth. I've even had a seventh cut on some of our cut and come again greens, but the best practice is to sow them regularly so you always have a fresh supply of greens, and you are not dependent on the next cut coming up. You have a new batch, and you can do this in very small amounts. You don't have to grow such a huge patch of spinach. You can sow a row once every couple of weeks, have various greens in the same bed, and have continuous supplies of fresh greens.